Lupe Fiasco is often referred to as one of the best songwriters of our generation, and he recently teamed up with Google to make the Text Effects project. So you can see right here it says AI-powered tools for rappers, writers, and wordsmiths. It works for everything from poetry to anything creative you're trying to come up with, and it's a little bit different from ChatGPT or Copilot because it doesn't generate the whole thing for you. It walks through it and takes your input a lot more than those do. So it's more of a tool than generating the whole thing for you. You can scroll down, you can watch him use it right here. Here's a description and it shows you all the different tools that it comes with. To start, you can click Launch Text Effects. So just like we talked about a second ago, these tools were inspired by some of his techniques he developed, but it doesn't just write it for you. It empowers your writing and thinking, and it just kind of levels up your creative possibilities. So yeah, click Next, and then it shows you every tool. So you have Simile, Explode, Unexpect, Chain, POV, Alliteration, Acronym, Fuse, Scene, and Unfold. So this can make an acronym for anything that you want. Let's say I want to make an acronym for YouTube. Just type in YouTube, run it. On the left side, you get your output. Right side, you can pin anything that it gives you that you want to save for later. You're observing unknown talents using big entertainment. Obviously, the first letter in every word in that sentence spells out YouTube. So that's what the acronym is. Let's say I want to save that for later. I can click pin right here and it'll save it for me. If I want to make a simile, this is the far left one. I could say elephant. It'll give me something that I can use for a double entendre or just wordplay. So similes compare whatever word you have using the word like often. So an elephant is like a house with a trunk, just that's explaining how big it is. But yeah, you have a bunch of different similes. Elephant was like a house. Okay, that's a crazy coincidence. It talks about house twice. An elephant is like a moving building. Elephant moved like the elephant loomed over us like a skyscraper. So yeah, those are some examples of using simile. Right next to that, explode. Let's say I want to use the word helicopter. I can run it. And it gave us helicopter. It says you can use it when you're talking about a helicopter and referring to it as a police officer. I know that's very situational, but it can help level up your wordplay in little ways like that. Another one it gave us is helicopter, a helicopter that has a copper body. Once again, very situational, but if you wanted to use the word helicopter, then you can compare it to the things it gave us like copper or cop, and you can have some pretty slick wordplay. Let's say I want to use the word studio. I'll type studio right here. You can click view all right here and it'll list them for you, so you don't have to click through all of them. But if you don't like any of these, you can click rerun right here and it'll just regenerate them for you. Study O. So yeah, that's explode. Unexpect, you have to describe the scene that you're at. So you could say maybe a board game. Run that. And just like the name suggests, it's going to give you the most unexpected result. It's going to just help you come up with creative things that you would have never thought of. A board game where the pieces are real life animals. A board game that's played on the surface of the sun. These are things that you wouldn't think of, but they can help you come up with ideas. Next up, we have chain. So if you want to say maybe picture, you can run picture. And that's going to give you items that are related to what you put in. So we put in picture, and it gave us picture, camera, lens, eye, head, brain, think, idea, all those. These can be used if you're running out of ideas, but you want to stay in the same subject or same scene. You can use those to keep the setting flowing. If you want to look at something from the eye of someone else, you could say airplane maybe. Now we see the airplane as just a flying aircraft, but airplanes are the closest thing we have to flying cars. That's a way you've maybe never thought of it. Airplane travel is the closest thing we have to teleportation. Airplanes are the perfect place to meet new people. So maybe in your song you're talking about airplanes and you need to tie it to something else. You can talk about meeting someone new. That's just one idea, but there's a list of all these things you can tie airplane into. Alliteration is very common in poetry. It's when you have a lot of words starting with the same letter or the same sound. So maybe we want to have the word celebrity and we want them to start with G. We can run it. You can see it gives us Gabriel Iglesias, Gaga, like Lady Gaga. If you want a different topic, that's kind of a weird topic because you can just look up names that start with that. Maybe computer, and you want them to start with A. API, ASCII, access point, adapter. So a bunch of things that have to do with computers that start with A. You can use these to keep the same flow going throughout your song or whatever you're writing. Acronym we already used, but if I want to make an acronym for Mason, I can just type my name. So I had to rerun it a couple times, but my favorite was many amazing skills obtained naturally. Once again, acronym, first letter in each word, spell something out in the sentence. Next up, fuse. Maybe you have two unrelated topics you want to talk about, but you want to blend them in and have a good transition between the two. Maybe you're talking about being at the subway, and then you're also talking about being at your house. You can type those two. Both a subway and a house can be seen as places of refuge and shelter. A subway by providing a safe and comfortable place to travel during bad weather, and a house by providing safe and comfortable place to live. Once again, if you don't like that, you can re-roll it or just click through the see all. So sometimes when you're listening to music, they have crazy details you never would have thought of, and it just helps bring the scene to life. Maybe you're at a music studio, and maybe the first thing that comes to mind to you is a microphone, speakers, and computers. This gives us a wall covered in soundproofing foam, guitar case laying in the corner, dusty old piano with a missing key. These are things you could bring in that maybe you wouldn't have thought of, and it could help bring the scene to life. This also is very important when you're trying to get the listener to imagine what you're saying. Definitely helps your songwriting. Last one is called Unfold. Maybe you have a topic you want to talk about. Right here I typed computer, and it will fill it in for a bunch of different topics. Home computer, computer programming, computer keyboard, computer programmer, laptop. So it gives us a lot of examples for how to stay on topic, but also having unique ideas come in. So yeah, I strongly recommend at least checking out this tool and maybe adding it into your workflow when you're coming up with your creative ideas. If you pair this with the fundamental knowledge on how to create a detailed scene to keep the listener hooked, you can definitely improve your songwriting very quickly. So thank you for checking this out. If you enjoyed, leave a comment, maybe subscribe. Thanks for watching.